All right, man, peace. Originally, I was gonna do this video and put it up on Rumble, but I figured let's just have the conversation today and just make sure that we have a down-packed idea about what's going on in society, more overviews, me watching this whole entire thing. I was watching another content creator and I was watching about how they were talking about Lil Tay starting OnlyFans and then talking about how you have one of the actresses that used to be in the film. I forgot the name of the movie that was in the movie with Lisa Ray. Escapes my mind right now. And about how she's 54 and she's twerking and all that other stuff. But Players Club, that's the name of the movie, Players Club. And so, a lot of, especially men is giving their opinions about women's theatrics upon the society and the over sexualization of women, including Lil Tay making the OnlyFans at the age of 18. And my thing about it is that later down in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys exactly what this promotes and why this isn't surprising to me, why this young girl, Lil Tay, is over sexualizing her really over sexualizing herself at the age of 18. It's one of those type of things where I've actually watched Lil Tay grow from being this girl that was talking about flexing and all these different things at the age of 10 and how she got into this weirdo beef with Woah Vicky, I believe her name is, in which Woah Vicky wound up being over sexualized to being this now devout Christian and changing her life around and stuff like that. I mean, I usually feel like a lot of these influencers, quote unquote, or a lot of these celebrities or a lot of these, a lot of these young kids, adults, whatever it is, especially the women are starting to be very weird these days. And it's the trend that started from Kim Kardashian, in my opinion, because she was a complete weirdo. She only got famous because she had sex with Ray J. Nobody knew who this bitch was. And the thing about it is that now, because what's making it worse is that because we're living in the streamers universe, a lot of these random social media influencers, now they call them that. Before it was a different name, but nowadays it's this now. They're giving these youngins airtime. And so Lil Tay, because her mom is really thirsty about exploiting her child and getting her into business, this is the angle that she would have to take when it comes to trying to put her child on the scene. First, with just doing all these different things where these houses wasn't real that they was living in and flexing all this money. It was very distasteful, but for some odd reason, people thought it on social media as being funny. So we're just gonna get to the nitty gritty of this whole entire conversation. I'm gonna break it down for you guys, my opinion of it, and we'll go from there. So, Pete.
Lil Tay is flexing a new achievement. Days after the rapper turned 18 years old, she says she has amassed over $1 million.
And let's say that as well. What I get tired of people doing, especially these commentators, they wind up putting these celebs and putting these musicians and artists in titles that they don't deserve. Little Tay is not a rapper. She's never been a rapper. She started doing music, yes. She sings. That's what she does. At the prone end, maybe, because I just recently seen a music video of her, maybe, just maybe, she is a guitarist, a musician at most, but she is not a rapper. I really wish that a lot of these people would stop trying to put these people in these characters and insult the whole entire genre of music that has nothing to do with them because they don't do that.
On OnlyFans within 3 hours of creating her account. Tay shared a photo of her alleged earnings on Instagram August 3rd, in which she earned just over $1 million. She went on to chide her critics in another video, telling viewers,
"You hate on me all you want, you can't say Lil Tay ain't winning. So for everybody out there, do whatever the hell you want with your life. Who gives a f people have to say? And remember."
Yeah, of course you're gonna say that because you're a young girl who knows that by using her sex appeal, you're gonna go ahead and make an OnlyFans. And that's the problem with a lot of these low-life women nowadays. Complete degenerates that believe that at the end of the day, when life gets hard, just make an OnlyFans. And it wind up failing for a lot of these women that really think that they're gonna make a career off of OnlyFans. The only reason why Lil Tay is really accumulating as much as she did within 3 hours is because there's a lot of these dudes, and let's really be real, a lot of you clowns sat there and was looking at that girl in that way for a minute, ever since she was 16. And ever since she was sitting up there having those little music videos, that video that was talking about the green and stuff like that, in my opinion, that I'm just saying this. I've always believed in, even at the age of 10, Lil Tay was a very pretty girl. She was a very pretty girl. I thought that she would be grown up into a beautiful woman, but just the fact of the matter, she was involved in a lot of bullshit because of her mother and her father, not because of who she is. She had the potential of making a acting career for, or for what she could have done and all these different things, but she decided to be a streamer, and that's because she was rolling around with Kai Cenat's crew. But at the end of the day, what do I think about Lil Tay starting her OnlyFans? It's very distasteful. I mean, even with her music, I'm not really a fan of her music. I'm not a connoisseur of her music. I don't really think she's a talented artist when it comes to music. But, at the same time, they'll go ahead and they make these speeches and these long diatribes and these long soliloquies or whatever you want to call it to basically add on the fact of the matter that their actions is justified. That's exactly what Little Tay just did just now. Do whatever the hell you want to do with your life. So go ahead and make an OnlyFans because you know you have sex appeal and because you have boobs. That's the reason why you're able to do what you have to do. And a lot of dudes call you beautiful and call you attractive. So step it up a notch.
Remember this, Lil Tay rich and finna get richer.
Tay, who turned 18 on July 29th, teased the idea of joining the adult content website a week before her birthday. She said in a July 22nd Instagram video,
"Every male has been counting down to it and literally telling me to drop the link the second I turn 18. Girlies, what do you think? Should I do it?"
The content creator, who went viral in 2018 for her profanity-filled raps about her lavish lifestyle, went on to make 10 more videos asking whether she should join OnlyFans before sharing the link to her account. Tay claimed in an August 2nd TikTok live that she made the content 1 minute past midnight on her 18th birthday. The teen's latest social media campaign comes nearly 2 years after news broke that she and her older brother Jason had died. However, a day later, Tay alleged that her account had been hacked. She said in a family statement shared to TMZ in August 2023, "I want to make it clear that my brother and I are safe and alive, but I'm completely heartbroken and struggling to even find the right words to say. My Instagram account was compromised by a third party and used to spread jarring misinformation and rumors." Tay, who had been planning a comeback for years after vanishing from the internet in 2018 amid a custody battle between her parents, noted that the rumor threw a wrench in her return. She told Roll.
And to move on, Lil Tay is no different from a lot of these Disney stars that started off with innocence and being involved in these TV shows where, they're the cutesy little girl that gets all the attention and stuff like that. And as they get older, the program of the Disney to MTV pipeline is that they allow these young girls to enhance in their beauty, enhance in their sexual prowess, their sex appeal, and therefore they start to get more raunchy and start to have all these deals that's offered to them and start getting into these roles where, they're starting to be seen as a sexual figure. Many names you can name off the list. Lindsay Lohan, Hilary Duff, you know, much more you could say than that, but just to add on to the fact of the matter, Lil Tay is no different. It's just the fact of the matter, she didn't start off in Disney. She started off by just random influence. But you always have to beg the question. You don't necessarily blame her for doing what she's doing because she's just a cog in the machine. She's just a regular old young girl that's following the trend just like everybody else is following the trend. And it's probably being anchored on by her father and her mother, more specifically her mom. But the thing about it is, we have to always remember that Little Tay had a very intimate conversation back when, a couple of years ago, actually, in which she had a very upsetting relationship with her mom and her father because she felt like her parents was trying to exploit her. So my thing about it is, in doing this investigation, this is not necessarily, oh, this is Lil Tay's fault and it's the destruction of society. You always have to point to who raised her. And it's the father and the mother. And in my opinion, I believe that her mom had got her into grooming. More not likely sexual grooming, but could be followed up with that. But at the same time, she groomed her child into the successful world of being a clout chaser and influencer and all these different things because she wanted to exploit her daughter. So going down the list, we can check this out right here. it could have been one of those sort of things. Her mother could very well had her involved in some type of sexual grooming, which is the same type of thing which you can compare her to Danielle Brigali, I think her name is, aka the Cash Me Outside girl that made an OnlyFans, who wind up getting into a beef with Travis Barker's daughter over the baby daddy and all this other dumb shit. And I mean, it's just failing into society. This is why society is becoming decrepit, because random social media influencers are just getting famous for just being known on a television show or doing some stupid gimmick in order to get some type of views and clicks. But otherwise than that, the same thing happened with Danielle, where she started an OnlyFans. The misconnection against the two is actually very apparent, because Danielle also does music and she actually does rap, whereas Lil Tay doesn't rap, she actually sings. So let's go down the list and check this out, what I'm talking about. Sexual grooming is the action or behavior used to establish an emotional connection with a vulnerable person, generally a minor under the age of consent, and sometimes the victim's family, to lower their inhibitions with the objective of sexual abuse. It can occur in various settings, including online, in person, and through the other means of communications. Children who are groomed may experience mental health issues, including anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress, and suicidal thoughts. And this is just to show you again, the fact of the matter is that this does remind me of the many times that it's been through the light. Miley Cyrus to also bring up, I forgot to bring her up in this conversation, where a lot of the times they start off with a television show. These days, they don't start off with a television show. They start off by being this random avatar, or being this random just star or random person that's on Instagram, for example, now TikTok, in which they might be giving their views upon something, or doing vlogs and stuff like that seem very innocent. And then as time grows, as they get to be 15 to 16 years old, you have a lot of these stars or fellow women that groom them into being more sexual, being more raunchy. And therefore, by the age of 18 and 19 years old, you find them now being the standard for sexual exploitation, OnlyFans, in which they make an OnlyFans and start putting themselves out there to be more sexualized and be more revered as that. But otherwise than that, the only thing I can ever say to this argument is don't blame the men. I don't necessarily blame the men. I think, the men are disgusting for following up for it. But blame the parents. Blame the father and blame the mother for Lil Tay taking into this. Because at the end of the day, the thing about it is the mother never said anything to this. And I even seen a clip of the brother arguing with Lil Tay about how he doesn't agree with Lil Tay starting the OnlyFans. But we shall see how this action may pick up and what may happen. If you like what you heard, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. Peace.